Alright, let's see what we're going to do. I think we're going to do another nice standard run today. And what's it going to be? It's going to be an irradiated sector with export focus. I can't remember what export focus did. Having a look here. Export focus is... Oh, okay. Every planet worth 350 extra? That seems like kind of amazing. Why is that a +0? Normally you get 400 for every 8 planets. It's not like only 1 in 8 planets is going to have 4 exports. Right? Like if we get anything like culture or luxury or anything, then it can be every planet. So yeah, this is like, oh, you know, if you can do culture, please do. But I mean, of course, right, we're playing random, so we can't decide if we're going to get that. So have a look at what's up in store for our races. We did get a way of getting culture, right? But only cultural exchange. We're playing Vittori, Dender, and Selthid. I do not see the teleporters, which is a bit of a shame, right? I would have loved to do teleporters in one of these normal runs. I've recently discovered them. I used to think that teleporters can only connect to one planet, but it turns out they work like relays, which makes them kind of amazing. Right? Like that makes them really good. I used to think they were not very good at all. Maybe that got changed at some point? By doing space architects? Not well prepared, space architects spreadsheet. Alright, we got everything jotted down for the start. I mean, I do like keeping things, you know, organized like that. Let's have a look at what early techs we have available. There is quantum sensors to unlock. There's also researchers available, which means we could do something like early quantum computing, right? Or we could do something on the order of, oh hey, you know, let's get freeze-resistant bots much later in the game. Or let's get disease eradication much later in the game. Asteroid dwellings. You could also get an additional tier 2 tech, considering there are there are 3 good tier 2 techs. So, you know, I could give up on integrated manufacturing until the late game because it's so expensive to build. Let's have a look at what our map has in store for us, right? So harmful radiation is the opposite of abundant resources. There are going to be some planets which will give you a penalty if you make certain things. However, in both cases, it's true that you can build yourself towards making more use out of it by simply not exporting the things that are irradiated, right? Instead, just build something else on an irradiated place. You will not be hurt much by it. Let's have a look at what our potential scans are. So there's a 5 here. I can't really optimize this because of this empty part here any further. So I believe this 5 is pretty much guaranteed to be one of our scans. Then we'd leave these 2 in the back. Go for 4 here. And go for another 4 here. And then maybe 3 or 3 there. That's an option. Is there another way? Well, we can do 5 here as well. And then that seems fine. Which one do we do first? 3 large or 2 large? We'll go with a 3 large first, right? Let's have a look. Oh, a bit slow. So here's our first irradiated planet, right? If we settle people, we will have to pay an additional 2 upkeep. So this upkeep is 3 instead of 1. But of course, you know, we could just decide, let's just do a Gaia world here. And then the radiation is of no concern. Now, given that we've unlocked a mineral and a forge world, I mean, I could just put this up here if I wanted to. There's no reason not to. The thing is, if you click one's left mouse button anywhere but there, it clears it off, which is a bit of a thing. Now, what this is going to make, I have no clue. There are 3 options there. Given that this is not going to be, I mean, this could be a farm, right? In which case it would make a lot of sense to make robots, right? Something like this. That would require us to scan around here if we could use the farm, right? And of course, if we could get a human right up here, for example, if this was any sort of colonizable planet, then this would be a great start. Unfortunately, scanning for just a single signal seems a bit wasteful. Instead, let's have a look down here, which is another 5 signals, giving us a reasonably good chance of finding, well, all sorts of different things. By the way, I've been noticing in streaming that I've kind of started to Americanize my R's a little bit, which is kind of not what I want to be doing. I need to pay more attention to it, right? Well, where do we go from here? Let's go down here. So there's another one of these. Oh, this is a bit unfortunate. The arid planet is irradiated. Which means, of course, there's no real means of doing anything but a colony on an arid planet. And we do not have any means available of changing that in any circumstance. So we're going to have to take a 2 penalty here. And then, of course, you know, something like this could be done. Remember that we do have the ability later to do flexible fabrication. So I do not need to worry as much about robots. The nice thing about this distribution of planets as well is that we have 2 sources of robots close together, which could mean potentially a laboratory. It'll be a bit more difficult to get, considering that we would want to have colonies on both sides to be able to do this laboratory effectively. One colony in order to give this thing its needs met, and another colony to input for the robots. And then, of course, right, we'd want something like a 3rd source of robots, really, for this to be really good. Also, having all these robots could mean a very good time for freeze-resistant bots. There's also something to be said for quantum sensors. It just saves you a lot of time. And considering that we have them, I'd want to minimize the amount of scanning that we do. Maybe go to 7 plans, invest in some science, then go for the... Whoa, we cleared just everything. Well, I mean, I can remember this stuff, right? What we've sort of tried to do here. I still don't have any good starts for 2-way trades, though, which is... I mean, this is the thing, right? It's just, where do we get humans? Right? If there are 3 robots, but there are no humans. I mean, can a laboratory fit? It could, right? So we could do 3 robots and a human, if we could find some food for this. In any case, it's not ideal, right? You can't really do much. I mean, there's that, right? But if I build you, can you connect there? No, you can't. Whoa. Slow down. It's a bit laggy there. That might have to do with me being doing transcoding. Although, looking at my... If I take a look at my... Oh, I guess Slipways is that intensive on the CPU. Yeah, it's running on the Wine, which is not as efficient as like a regular Windows is. That's surprising, though. Maybe we should get more CPU, right? Yeah. I mean, it is quite aggressively... Well, in any case, someone's driving like a lunatic outside. Maybe I would want to look down here. See if this indeed is a decent plan or not. There's still no real good way of starting out. I was afraid of that. That sort of puts a spanner in the works, doesn't it? Because now we cannot really colonize anything. The only two colonizable planets are not... Should I take a bad one here? I'd really like not to. But I mean, I'd have to know before colonizing this primordial is the thing, right? If I'd want to take a colony up here, I mean, I could take one here, right? Like this I could take. And then, of course, well, where's the food going to come from, right? This is sort of like messy. Which is sort of the point, really, that I'm trying to make, is that these are... Well, they're not ideal. Let's put it that way. We do have mineral seeding available, in which case we could turn them into mineral worlds. We could have a mineral world here, have a mineral world there. Like, I wouldn't know what to do with that many minerals, though. I mean, I suppose you could laboratory them, right? This connection is also possible, right? So maybe we start down here with this water facility as our start, and then have a look around. I mean, this seems fairly likely. There are 2 consumers for it. There's quite likely to be a 3rd. It will make 4 water eventually. You could even do water laboratory eventually, right, with that. There's no great start possible, though. I guess we'll have a look here. Now, you are an upkeep of 1. And you will be an upkeep of 2, but you will need an upkeep of 3. So our best bet is this. Now we have 1 more month to scout. So we could find, you know, another arid colony, which I would rather take over this. I do not think this is reasonable or possible. Neither of the two. Reason, you know, distance too long. I can still get a little bit of information here, though. And it's an ocean. Now, that could be a secondary water if I wanted to. Or it could be... I mean, there really isn't much else it can be. It can be this, right? Algae farm. Which, I mean, I don't know if it would connect, right? It would. So, I guess it will be an algae farm. For now, though, let's connect this up so we don't lose any money. And let's have a look down here, what's possible. The unfortunate part about the algae farm, of course, is that we just made this and only can export 1 water. I can do invented technology, get a forge world to successful, or get a food producing planet to successful. Do we have a plan for either of those? Now, a food producing planet down here would need ore, which it can't feasibly get. A food producing planet all the way up here would need biomatter, which it can't really get. And up here there are no planets to export to. So you're kind of in trouble with that. Invented technology is going to be quite difficult to do this early on. Reason being, science is quite expensive. On the other hand, if we find just a couple of ruins, then we can just connect them in and get a technology. So I guess that would be one of our 2 options. And then the other option is probably going to be a forge world to successful, given that, you know, there are so many of those here. And we'd probably be able to pull that off in some way, shape or form. Like a not unreasonable way. Right? Especially if I go food here and then I make a bot here. We'll be using the 2nd bot. All I have to do is make a chip here. And I mean, I would have to do this as a colony as well, but I could hold off on that, on paying on the large upkeep. For now, though, I think we'll have to bite a bullet. Now, I think the ideal way to do this is to start with the mine, right, to start upgrading you. then to go ahead and build the chip facility here. Upgrading further. Or we'll start with a colony. This is an expensive colony because of irradiation. And that's the problem, like we've made this chain of planets that doesn't really make us any money. And isn't near any asteroids either. There's one here which I'd be inclined to move towards really. But if I scan, I'll go to October and I'll lose even more money. So we'll have to make a decision. Is this an algae farm here? And to do that decision we need this. Because, I mean, that's out of range anyway. I might as well take the algae farm. Maybe we'll be able to find another robot for it, right? But for now, I do want to have the 5 income. We now have a lot of humans available here, so hopefully we'll be able to use them for something. And we don't end up in this situation again. But you just don't know that. You can't know it all. Yeah, I'd imagine that. Let's start with these 3 large signals here. Okay, so there's another water here, which I would desperately want to take. That would be a double 2-way trade. In addition to that, it could be a water laboratory, which would not be terrible. So I start with you. I end up at 17. I would like to use this asteroid so we can keep going. So June, September, October. We have 3 possible connections. I mean, that's not terrible, right? We end up with 21 income at 7 of 8 with no things. So if I wanted to do a laboratory, I'd have to make it now. We'd have to do it here. Send in the 3 things. It's a possibility. It depends a bit heavily on whether or not we can find another asteroid here. We can't. That's unfortunate. Like, there's also something to be said for producing ore here. Reason being that we would be able to supply all the water into it to make a good chunk of money. If we did do a laboratory, we'd end up with very little money for quite a while. Is that to be done, right? But that costs you an extra year. It does do 15 for 6 income, so it's not a bad trade. It's just that we are quite deep down in the hole with no real prospect of getting out easily. Now, another way would be, of course, if I made a chip here and went to 8, and we'd lose all our income. I'd be able to do this and complete the mission, but, you know, then we would be down deep into the dump. So that's not really a good option either. This is the best option when it comes to making money, but it's a very painful one that's going to cost us a year extra. I think I want this information. Okay, so there's not much here basically. So we would want to consume this. We have plenty of time and too little money. So could I try to do both in some way? Well, if I went with science first, right, just for illustration purposes, we would have to spend this much. We would get 1 science out of it, and then next year we would only get a single slipway, right? Or I could do this and get myself 6 income, which I think is better. And then we'd skip and build a science lab. Or we would keep going and build other stuff. I mean, the skip and build a science lab option seems like very enticing, right? Like in general, just... The thing with it is, though, that, you know, this connection would make a lot of sense later in the game. So perhaps we just don't build a science lab yet, and we keep going until later. Then I mean, that's obstructed, right? You are very, very, very expensive to build, so I would rather not. There's also something to be said for this connection here. As well as this one, right? So if I go ahead and do this, right? We'd end up with 21 income. Much less than if I skipped. So I think the resolve we'd have to do is we'd have to skip at the end of this year no matter what. I might as well get some information first. Like that is like the thing I really would like to see. Because we can get science that way. If we can somehow unlock the Vittori mission, we can get an additional 6. Our Vittori mission is to research a tech, so we could research like quantum sensors and pick up another 6. There's gene adjustment in it though, so that's a really strong tech for us. But you know, how could we? That would be out of range. I was like, maybe we can do cultural exchange immediately between these two colonies we've got, but I don't think that's a possibility. This one cannot really make anything without robots, which are the thing I have up here, not down there. Ooh. Okay then. I need to get a quieter PC. This is ridiculous. It's too noisy. I could dust it some more, but it's still going to be noisy. It's always been noisy. No, there's something wrong with the fan. I mean, it's supposed to be a good quiet fan, but it makes a kind of buzzing noise. It's the CPU fan. I don't know. Let's not worry about that. Instead, we've got a 32. Feels a bit cramped, but okay. So now I've got a bunch of spare ore. I mean, that would be rather inefficient, unfortunately. So, since there's an asteroid there, perhaps I should do this scan first. It's a 5. Oh, well, the asteroid only has one thing adjacent to it, so I might as well pick it up. No reason to leave it. We are in the poorhouse. Especially when the game keeps giving us like plants like these. It just doesn't really help. I mean, there's something to be said for founding these and then taking this. But what would I make on them? I guess I would want a colony up here. There's just like no good way to do science then though. Right. I mean, there wasn't any either at the start, but this just cements it. Is there really no like this seems like such a large empty swath of space that's going to make all my slipways so horribly expensive. I might as well not have found this planet. There's just nowhere for you to bring your ore to except this. Which I guess is what we're going to have to settle for. In that case, I might as well pick you up. So we just like sort of keep going. That's -3. I can't afford that. Like in general. I could do this, but it's obstructed. There's that, but it's out of range. And then there's that, but it's too expensive. So yes, this old planet is just slightly mispositioned, moving like a couple centimeters up, and we're there. But of course, we don't have the Bakar, so that's not an option either. You have some asteroid here. Maybe we continue with our starting plan. It's just that we need this to be a colony then. Like that would be such a big deal. I could just replace this lava with an Earth, right? Then all our worries would have been solved. But that's not what this is like. I mean, there's also the option of doing an ore laboratory, just cutting this off. Then of course we'd be we would be cutting off the Silted mission, which I do not think is smart. Because this is our ticket to the Silted mission, as well as, you know, this one as well. So it's not like 1 or 2. If I could just get a colony, right? Maybe just get the information. I think I could. Well then, that's different. About all those Forge worlds, maybe it's this, right? Unfortunately, you are out of range. Of course you are. It would have been lovely though, right? Actually be able to do a nanotech factory? That's pretty rare. Although, you know, I could still do it. Hold on. Don't just build that though. Yeah, it's fairly cheap, right? We'll be able to use all the ore. The question just is like, where are you going to get a person? Right? If you could get a person, we would be set. Just that you can't. I mean, from there, right? But not the place where I'd want to make the person. I guess we would have to just take it though. You have 4 upkeep though, so like, don't want to found you this year. I guess we wait. Right? And then perhaps try you out first. I maybe wouldn't want to make it good, right? Maybe I'd want to make a robot. It's such a hard thing. I think my motivation of wanting to know what this is too strong. It makes a big difference. That's another Forge world? Like, how many of those are there? Well, in that case, we're going to have to take a human here. As much as I didn't like doing another irradiated planet, that's just what we're going to do here. Now, given that I've decided to do that, let's get it some food. Where's it going to get its food from? I have no idea. Also, which one is robots? Which one is chips? Which one is bots? Again, like, we have a lot of options, but like the thing is I can't really use them very well. I mean, we can make a bunch of bots, but no good utilization, right? This connection is, oh, it's possible, right? That's already something. That's, you know, that's your successful planet over there. But, you know, I mean, cutting this off from water when it really wants them. And, you know, that's out of range and that's obstructed. So it's just a bit infuriating, this, right? It just doesn't really have a good solution. Not really. This doesn't have a great solution. Let's have a look here. Okay. There's an ocean. Should have, could have known, right? Should have, could have, would have, but out of range, right? Yeah. If we could get a human for you. Like asteroid habitats or a free habitat would have done it, but that was not in the cards. At least I don't think it was. No, it was establish a base, not get a free habitat. It's one of the silted things you can get, or you can get a free habitat. In which case, you know, I would have plonked down a habitat here in between. And gotten myself, I mean, I would have had to find some ore for you, I suppose, but I would have been able to get myself humans here without needing to resort to this colony, and would have been able to do this colony. And you are not in range either, so it really doesn't compute. Now, given that we have this though, I mean, this is another Earth. Since there are 2 of these, perhaps it really should be a Gaia world. If you can get some humans from some other place, it'll be able to do 2 and 2 and get 2 good farms here. It just won't. Right? Like, I'll get to November. Oh yeah, that's a colony enough for this. It's another irradiated. Like all the colonies we'd want are irradiated, right? Our empire is irradiated. The nuclear empire. That's what we're building. And of course, if I were to make goods here, we only have one customer. Which I'd prefer to have more. Is there a way to have more? Not without cutting you off from food? Yeah, about that. I mean, we'd get more later, right? That's for sure. We'd also, you know, we'd get more Earth-likes and stuff, and this just it just works too well. It works just too well. I gotta go for it. Let's just have a look, right? I just want to show, like, just show how well this works. And so we go to next year. This is quite painful and quite slow, but if I do this, then I can get this connection here for a double trade. Income goes up to 31 just from that. Now, if I'm clever, I'll build this first. And, you know, get an asteroid for 18, which pays for it. And then we can build more connections towards the end of the year. To keep going until the end of the year. Now we've got a colony with a large amount of income and things, right? And now if I found this, we will get a food in here, as well as being able to make a two-way trade here for water, as well as being able to put something in there and increase this. Now the interesting part here is that there is another primordial up here. This could be another farm, right? That would be, you know, continuing the streak. But it could also be biomatter. And it probably should be biomatter because I see a good science lab here. And I think we can finally afford one. With irradiated hitting us quite hard. But I don't think that was really a much better solution here. Let's take what we can get. And grab ourselves a two-way trade. And food. And a Gaia world first. And another two-way trade. Oh, this is so strong, right? Such a nice start. I could do this. It'd be too greedy though. I'd want to know if there's a colony available. If there is, I will do it. There is. Is it in range? It is, so I shall do it. Do it. Click. Right, the reason why I went with that is because we're at 15 of 16, and this is the perfect time to be building a laboratory. So we can do something like this, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 things go into you, making this quite the successful laboratory. Right, the little laboratory that could. Yeah, I mean, that's basically it, really. And now the argument, of course, goes, let's build this here, send it in there, complete both missions, right? Now, if I do so, I will take an 8 money penalty, right? But if I scan right now, I will be wasting a lot of time with quantum sensors. Since I have 48 income, we do have the extra bonus science as well. I'll be inclined to take the recycling operation. Actually 11, right? It's even heavier, but if we go from 48 to, oh wait, 16. Oh, that's maybe a bit much then. If we take a 20 income hit from doing that, like that would probably be enough to completely stifle us next year. Yeah, I don't see that working out very well at all. Like ideally, I just wait a little. We can assume an asteroid here and there. One more scan, and then we'd end up in the next year. Let's have a look here, I suppose, right? See if maybe there's a... Oh, there is a planet. Would you know? And now I'll take it, right? this one. 7. And now we'll be able to choose either quantum sensors or freeze-resistant bots. Since there are no ice balls in good locations for freeze-resistant bots. Well, there's this one, right? It would be able to make quite a bit of water. I don't know if it's good enough though. I can send in a human from here into there. This will make a chip, probably, instead of a bot. Well, this could make a bot, right? It could. And this could make a chip. If this made a bot, it could send it into here to make water. The water could go there and there. The bot making will also take a water. So, you know, freeze-resistant bot's actually quite good here. I'll take that back. It's actually quite a neat little tech. But for now, we'll take quantum sensors because it's just universally quite useful. And then maybe we'll also take the freeze-resistant bots to advance our science more quickly. To get to quantum computing very quickly. Because there's only 8 science to get both things, right? So if I do this, right, we'll get the Silthid mission complete as well. And if I then have a look at our missions, we might get another mission to do to research the technology. Instead, though, we get a mission to build a chip lab, which really is not what I'm looking towards doing. It's just such an expensive thing to do. As well as nearly impossible to do, really. To get it to 4 science as well. Like, I mean, I could make a chip here, but then, you know, I'd be using a planet to make a chip just for a single laboratory. Seems like unacceptably wasteful to me. There could be a chip made here as well as there, and that could be a 3 science laboratory, but it would need something else as well. And then this planet is like choked for food because it can't get it from the right because it's surrounded by a lab, can't get it from the left because there's a lab there. There's just no way, right? This is just not a very good one to get. Like, well, I mean, think about it a little, right? Think about it a little further. We can get 6 additional science, putting us at 9, then 5 for 14. In 2 years, we'd have 19. If I complete the Silthid mission, I would have 25, and I would be able to take quantum computing, and we may be able to do it in 3-4 years with quantum computing and a 2 human 1 chip lab or something like that. But I don't know, right? The Denner mission seems way easier. Just, you know, the moment we found a colony or 2, we'll get it. In fact, it's quite likely we'll want to do so because I wanted a colony here. So, you know, why not accept that? It's much more doable. And then getting 2 forge worlds is successful. I mean, there are enough forge worlds here, right, in the area. It's just successful is quite the tall order this early in the game for forge worlds. I mean, you've already seen, right, this one. It wants a chip. Everyone wants a chip. And it can't get it from the right because this connection's been made, because it's the only way for this thing to get humans. So we'll have to get it from the left. In this case, this wants ore, but this already has used all its ore and it cannot make ore because it wants water. And this one can't get its water because there's like another slipway in the way here. So it's kind of a bit of an issue to get these successful forge worlds as well. But I think it's less hard than doing the lab. Like, especially regarding the fact that our income is sort of not capable of sustaining another laboratory for a while. Like, we haven't even finished this one off. Yeah. So, I mean, I could do this connection for 18. I mean, it does make 5, right? So then, where next, right? I guess up here. What's the likelihood of... I mean, we have a good scan radius now, right? That's the nice part about all this. Actually, let's take the... I mean, would I want the biomatter here? I've already got one lab for that, so I don't think so. Let's study these life forms. Just so I don't forget, we'll have the science available. There's also this, disease eradication, making an additional human in places you could do. I mean, I could do that here in order to send a human there, right? It's a project. We have no other projects for colonies available in our tech tree, so... Well, you know, right? We also have export focus as our is our goals. So if I could do so, then doing this is fine. I question the validity of it, given the fact that this particular setup kind of wants something else. Also, you know, if I could make a robot here, I could then make water there, make a two-way trade, send in another one. My render completed. Well, computer's going to be a little bit less busy, I suppose. I could do that in the end. Like, remember that the bot is going to also produce a good, although it needs, no, that's not true. It needs a human to do that. So we would want to know what's here, basically. That's the main point. Oh, are you in range? You are. Huh. Well, that changes things, doesn't it? If I make you a colony, I could make this quite expensive connection to get you upgraded. And then we could do something fancy with bots. Right? Or both. I don't know. Right? Like if I wanted to make anything here, it would be a robot. Like it would be amazing to make a robot here for this trade, and then this one as well, and make 7 science. Can I get you satisfied without making a colony here in an easy way? Because I would be paying 3 permanent happiness penalty if I do that and I find out that, oh, you know, there are no colonies down here. Which, yeah, we just do. So, you know, scrap that plan. Let's take 6 science instead of 7. Don't be too greedy. Take the colony, right? And take that right now. Getting our income back. Getting our science up. Would I do it in that order? I mean, this can be a food place. I wouldn't know where the chip place is at, but I would imagine that if we can get some ore up here, then these two will, you know, work well together. It would make a lot of sense to do that. We're also in October, which is a bit of an unfortunate place to be at this point in time with this amount of money. Okay. There is ore, but it's out of range. Oh, is it? That could become ore. So could that. For this. So there's your options, right? And then algae farm. That would be in range of this, right? I know this is a two-way trade, but like robots is so much nicer here. Is it? Like, hold on a second. If I make a robot here, where can it be used? Over here and over there? It's just 2 places, right? I mean, it can make up to 3. If I make a chip here, where can it be used? Over here? That's it? Yeah, that's less good, isn't it? Also, you know, the water there with the trades and stuff. Yeah, I suppose, right? I suppose it would be that. Main question is, what's less expensive? The algae farm. Costs us only 3 to build. It's also disease eradication for us if we wanted, but I think our tech of choice is the freeze-resistant mods. And then mineral seeding and all these 3, but it might be too much to take all of them. I'd want all of them, but... let's start with freeze-resistant bots. It's a good beginning, right? Of course, ideally we also get a source of chips. I mean, that is out of range, right? I guess not enough stuff everywhere. Like, because we could get a good source of goods, then sure we'd also... let's just go with this. Where's my chip source? I mean, yeah, you could be another colony. Just leave And later on we'll get another human in here. Oh yeah. Okay, okay. Of course now we're out of money for a bit. That's the unfortunate part. And I want to keep you, so I can get more value out of this asteroid. So we'll wait. I only have so few years left, right? Like I want to get to down to the good stuff, but I don't know if we'll get there on time. Quantum computing, right? Increasing the laboratory output. We're moving towards now permafrost melting. This is the whole reason why I thought this was so good. You get the two-way trades quite nicely and short connections and all that. You sort of make up our deficit a bit. I mean, I want to know what this is first. Let's see if we can get... Ooh. Am I too greedy for wanting this? It might be, but... Are you out of range? I'll have a look here as well. Okay, so that would require water, right? Then wish it wasn't so, right? The shortage of biomatter here hurts this. If we had some, then this would be a really nice option. I would get a thing from there, a food from there, because it, you know, it does connect. It could get rid of the asteroid. Get a food from there. Make humans here. Make mine here. Send in an additional water. Send a human there, send in an additional water, right? Make a water laboratory with, you know, maybe some help. Remember, we have researchers, so we can take disease eradication if I wanted. So I could, in fact, I might do so. Like that, right? It's not half bad, actually, to do so. For now, though, I think I'll just send a water back. There. You're 7, you're 8. Yeah, it's quite similar, right? Would I want to send a chip in here? Not, I mean, yes. This is another world that could make a chip. Or make an ore, sorry, for this. You could make an ore, though. For you. I don't know where you send the other food to, though, is the problem. Yeah, it's just not quite all in the right place. The problems being that out of range, right? If we had slipway length tech, then that would be great, but we don't. Again, mineral seeding is available in some time. It's another irradiated planet. I mean that, right? Would connect. In which case, this would make more water. Right, this would make a human. This would make a food for it. I don't know where we're to get all these robots. I guess we'd have to make more somewhere. Just not ideal. Like, not at all. This connection is, again, is somewhat out of range. What about asteroid habitats? Just a, you know, a thing. This could be one. In fact, that will connect here. It will connect here. It will connect there. Like, that's, you know what? That might be the thing we do. But the thing with asteroid habitats is that they just don't count towards towards success, which is the problem with them. Also, we'd have to float this ship for a while. I would get to 1 or 2 of this mission, which is further than we've got before. I want so many of these techs, right? The mineral seeding is required here. The bots are also required here. And they're too expensive to build right now, right? That's what we're wondering. The thing also is if I want to take this asteroid for money, taking it for an asteroid habitat is sort of counterproductive to making money. I mean, I could take this one instead. Like if I take this, right, how expensive is it anyway? Like it's 0, so that's cheap at least. And then I could do something like that, right? And then complete our dinner mission. And then I could do that. Right, get ourselves an additional one. Another nice part about it is that they don't take up planet slots. So, you know, suddenly we don't need this colony anymore, right? And suddenly we don't need a colony here either. So I can suddenly do things that, you know, I wouldn't want to do before. Like ignoring them both, for example, would be a good, decent idea. I could just do, instead I could just do this one. Right, like it would have 2 outputs for its food, but biomatter and stuff, right? Like that. I mean, the second output for this would be here, right? The problem is like how many successful adjacencies do you have? Like, this is the main issue with these asteroid habitats. They don't count as successful, right? Which is like it has to be a planet. An asteroid habitat is not a planet. Right? Habitats aren't planets. So they really obstruct your ability to get successful and prosperous worlds later. I mean, this one probably isn't going to be obstructed because we can send in water. Also, you know, they don't help with export focus either. I don't think this is the best tech we can get, to be honest. I think there are better ways to deal with our problems. And also, you know, I would love to do, you know, water laboratory +10, right? If we get some food down here, we could, right? I don't think it's too terrible. In that case, I could just put this down here. I mean, like, generally planning it out, right? It would be like that, but look, right, the cross streams are already quite clear here. We would have to get humans from somewhere else, and of course this connection is not going to be made, but like we'd have to get it from down here, right? Well, that's the general idea then, right? Get ourselves a successful planet that way. What about up here? Is there anything we could do up here instead of the nonsense we're doing down there? I mean, there's a jungle here. It's another one here. It's, I don't know. We'll do a water lab, I think. And if we can even afford that, right? I don't think we can. That's the problem. For now, though, I'll go to 23 ideally. Try to sneak our way to 24. Use asteroids to tide away the income. Use that to get ourselves quantum computing. We would... Do we need mineral seeding? I would appreciate it, that's for sure. But do I have a plan to use all of our planets that we get from mineral seeding? Is the main thing, right? I mean... Yeah, this has to be mineral seeded, that's the problem, right? Like, you're so much in the way that there's no other solution. I mean, than this, right? And then you connect there, you connect there, you connect there, you connect there, and it all functions. So yeah, we'd have to take mineral seeding and quantum computing. And then we can take, maybe later we can take disease eradication, but I imagine we'd have to take those two first as well. The order in which we have to take the tech is kind of also playing part if we want to take most of these low tier techs. And there are quite a few good ones in here. I mean, I might want to skip some of it. I could try to get ore and bolts from a different source. I mean, just ore, right? Ore is the only thing that's a problem. Find something down here and then we're done as well. Somehow, I can hear. Yeah. I don't know. What am I looking at here? And these... I mean, this mineralize, I could mineralize this ice ball, for example, right? And then send a human in, send the water in, right? Also, you know, this is still available, but it's just a bit too expensive. I guess we'll just sort of flounder 22, 23 for a while until everything can be set up. Let's get the cheapest thing. This thing costs only 1 to run. And then I can get an asteroid for like 18. That's nice. And then I can make an expensive connection here and there. I mean, you can do that. There's a quantum compute. Oh, was that smart, actually, if we're going to quantum compute? If we're going to quantum compute, I don't want to do that connection, actually. The reason being, of course, water, right? Water is our lifeblood here. The thing is just we'd be out of money, right? We're running ourselves out of money is the problem. Cultural exchange will arrive, but it won't lead to any significant benefits in this empire because we cannot utilize it anywhere immediately. Yeah. About that. So like a good can be made here. There's lots of places want one, right? Can we somehow have a look here? I would have loved an ore there. What about this one though? You're just so ever so slightly out of range, aren't you? Of course you are. Wouldn't that be an easy solution? And there's also you. You could be energy, but if I take you, then I'll be forced to take mineral seeding. I guess that's fine. I can only settle one more planet before we hit the next tier, though. It's a major issue. Like this one, like we go down to so low income, right? We'd be stuck, essentially, with what we have, because there's no way of getting out of here. There's no way of improving our income. At least not that I see of. We basically can't do or build anything. Then, so I don't think that's the answer. And this is sort of what I feared with this building. This is sort of you kind of get stuck. Like I would love to build all these things, but they're too expensive. And then the hand, you know. What's the alternative? Is there any alternative? Is any reasonable? I don't know. I mean, I could just... take researchers, right? I mean, I want to take mineral seeding first then. We could also skip the mineral seeding, but then, you know, I'd be leaving this unhappy for a while. And what about skipping mineral seeding? I don't know if that's the best idea. But I don't have a better one. Also, you know, producing another human here It leads to more water here. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You can just make a big water lab as well. Just like that. Which I guess is kind of amazing, actually. Also, you have a human available then? Yeah. I think that's a really good tech when it comes to science. Maybe you just do this 20. Except that we're going to go a little slow. Because there's no other way of keeping our income up. Because if I found 2 more planets, we go to 24, and if we go to 24, we lose 24 income. Which is, we cannot sustain. So we'd have to go a little slowly. There's no real alternative. I see. Making more labs is making the problem worse. That's not a good idea. Making infra, yeah, I'd love to know what this is. We scan a little, right? But we have to take our time, basically. We might have to take a skip or 2. And to stay alive. Right? The irradiated sector is hitting us for 6 income a year. And it's definitely felt, right? It's definitely made its impact. And you know, here's another case where you have to take it, right? If we wanted to expand that way, it just manages to come up in the worst of locations, right? Normally you can play around it a bit, but by making the other planets a thing, but we've just managed to not really be able to do that very much. I could pre-build this, right? Save us a month next year. Is there no good way of... I mean, I guess I could make this robot. Am I even losing income by doing that? Right? And this would massively cut down our income, yeah? I would imagine so, right? Also, can't put it anywhere, right? I don't even know if this is the right choice, right? Like, what about this robot? Like, it would make more sense if just we could get water here, which we can't. Though if it's an infra way, we could, right? That would make our life a hell of a lot easier. Being able to get water out of here from to there. I mean, I'd be able to do something like, I don't know, that, right? Into a chip or a robot. Or I'd be able to do this connection, right? There are no hyperlanes either, of course, we don't have the Euphorians. There's a thing we said to be doing the Dender, but there's no mission completion here. Not easily. And the microchip lab would have been probably even worse, right? So it's not like we have good alternatives. There's that, right? Yeah. And this desert is kind of stuck in the middle. It cannot even upgrade. Maybe it's not minerals eating, right? We just skip that tech. We'll try to fix it later. I want to know what this all is about. Yeah, so... like, you can't reach there, can you? No. I would imagine not. And you are going to obstruct and be out of range as well. So, like, how am I going to do that? Do we have something like... we have self-sustaining ecosystems, right? That might just be our ticket. We just do everything with habitats. I mean, habitats that you can build are a bit better than habitats that, you know, are forced. You can use those habitats to create science, for example, right? To create humans, to create science. And a bunch of other things, really. As well as, you know, you can just use them to make some money. Right, making humans makes you some money. You can just put them... They're kind of like little... these are a lot better than asteroid dwellings, so I'm going to say, right? They cost you 25, right? They're kind of a lot like... what's the thing? The microforges? Self-sustaining ecosystems? You can build them. We can build them quicker, actually. We have reduced structure build time, so that's nice too. We can build them in only 1 month. Although we definitely don't have the money to, you know, throw that around all that much. Spending 25 a month, yeah, it's not really gonna work. But you know, the nice part is I can do an habitat instead of the asteroid thing that we did before. And that will allow me to do like, I don't know, something here or something, right? And then make, I mean, that would allow me to do the mineral seeding thing, but I do want that as well. Tech is difficult. Yeah, there's like 3 different plans going through my head, and neither of which is all amazing, but they're okay, right? We'll go ahead and do this and hope. See what that is. If there's anything that changes our world here. Not much, right? No, not really. I mean, you know, there's robot here. There's maybe food to be had here, and then there's maybe an Earth like to be had here to do this with. But this thing's humans can't really go anywhere. It's sort of a dead-end planet. If I'm going to ignore the arid, right, in order to avoid the irradiation. I could do the ocean as our thing, but I mean the ocean really wants to be even more water, right? To you know, two-way trade here. Right, two-way trade there. Right? At least I have a two-way trade then. So then, I mean, you guys all like go ahead and I can't place a laboratory even. Let's go to the next year. I want to see. Please, game. Is there a way to place this so that I get all of it? No. There isn't. Right? There just isn't. I can get a lot though. This isn't bad. Okay, so the idea is we get disease eradication now, right? That allows me to do disease eradication in various places, one of which is here, which gets me the extra population for the Dender mission. That's nice. Then I can make things successful and prosperous and actually get us some income. And it can also be used to make laboratories to advance science in order to get out of this mess. Via science. We can get a free habitat actually. And I might want one. The reason given here, of course, is that I could get this done. Do we have the science? Yeah, that's the problem. We cannot do mineral seeding anymore, right? We can do integrated manufacturing, and that will solve this problem as well. But that will preclude culture. Which I do want, actually. Habitats plus culture, right? Yeah, that's what we're going to do, actually. We'll be able to actually get 3 culture here. From Habitats plus culture. That's what we're going to do. I wouldn't want both, right? Oh, we can get both. If we get it in the right order, but that would mean not getting this early. Why? Why is this so difficult? Like... Maybe we get the free habitat first. Right? And then see what we do afterwards. But I would love to do this upgrade as well, right? Like if I get... I am here, it will upgrade this thing, which is this thing's mission, right? That's sort of the issue here. It's the missions. I mean, I could just make a chip here and that would work, right? Like, do we have anywhere else where we're really desperate for integrated manufacturing? It'd be nice here, right, for another input, but it's not required. I mean, it would make you, like, probably prosperous fairly quickly, make you successful. But this still needs water and stuff, so that'll take a while still. And no matter what I do, right, it's like I could do this, this, and then that, but, you know, given the low amount of science we've got, that means basically not getting any of the good stuff down there. Which, I mean, I'm looking at, you know, skill download plus culture plus culture upgrade equals happy people. Yeah, lots of happy people. So what do we do first? So if I take this first, right? This is a general idea, is that I place this here in order to get ourselves an extra science soon. Then we get this in and that in, right? That's the idea of this. And then this connection can be made and that connection can be made for the cultural exchange, which is going to be our money maker. The problem with this, of course, is we'd have to do another skip in order to get the lab going. No real way around that, I suppose, which we'll do next year. We would construct this laboratory. Right, we'd go into this. I think it's the right order, though, going into income first. If there's any good order here. So then, you know, we would take a water, obviously, in order to get another 8 science, right? We double our science output. It's not insignificant at all, right? Now the thing is, I mean, is this worth it actually? It's only going to be 4 extra science for another 10 years. So yes, it's worth it, but just barely. The science we have now, we have another 160 or 150 or so. The culture thing will take us 38 plus 45, right? 83 plus 22, 105 science, plus probably this as well. So you're talking about 130-ish science, right? So basically we have almost no extra room for researching stuff if I do that, is the point, right? I think the main point, though, is that if I do anything but this, we will have so little income that it doesn't matter. Right? The only thing we really have is this asteroid, which is not going to get us anywhere near at the end. So we'll have to take it, essentially. Right, so we'll have to do this, as well as... I can't even afford that. Yeah, we'll have to end the year again, right? We're just trying to stay at below 24 because it's too expensive to go above it, essentially, for quite a while. So this would, you know, right, move us to 20 science, right? But then, you know, we'd have to wait another year. That's not ideal. So I think we go for cultural exchange first. Right, this was the reason. And now we try to make some prosperous things, ideally, if we can. I don't know if we can, is the main problem. There's like... a bunch of problems here. Like, we would need to make... additional culture everywhere. But I can at least get some. Right, this is sort of the main attraction here. And you have enough, but you just don't have the adjacencies. Like, why don't you actually? Like, I mean, this really should be prosperous, because this, you know, is level 3. It just doesn't count, right? So apparently this doesn't receive happiness for unemployment, so that's nice. Habitats don't do that. Yeah, but you know, right, that doesn't really work either, because I've made this connection. I mean, I could make 2 less science, and then I would be able to, you know, connect this in there later. But I mean, I can connect it in here now, so it's still fine. Because just go a different way, right? No idea how I'm gonna fix this. Yeah, no idea how I'm gonna fix that. You are also fixable, I suppose, right? So now we'd try to go to 24. And hopefully not take too much of a hit. If I wanted to do self-hosting AI, I would want to build another laboratory. I don't know if I want to. I mean, I might want to build a laboratory, but not take self-hosting AI. That's also, you know, the option that we have. So if I position this thing a little bit further down, which means undoing a whole lot of work, then yeah, we get that connection, which I do want. So let's just, and then like that, skip that. Skip. Order. I mean, I could still do this, right? If I do it down here, I could still do that connection and get prosperous later. I don't know, though. Right? This seems like it's more efficient. Put it like here. I think we pay the least then. I mean, I could try to optimize this. Yeah, I think it's pretty much optimal like this. There we go. 8 science. Can't get any more, not easily at least. And now we have this connection that's available, which you know is exactly what I'd want. So like that, because I knew that this was actually a losing proposition with regards to money. And then, you know, the cultural exchange, because it's the only way to stay alive. Whoa. Something like that. And then, you know, want to be very careful to go out in October to not lose too much money. So, like, get some more information, I guess. Oh, hey, look, there's a former ruin. I could also take that, but I'd rather wait with it. And, I mean, I suppose we'll look over here as well. Yeah. Alright, let's take it. Now, this isn't a bad planet in any case, right? It has like 3 locations where it can send its stuff. Okay, we now have only 26 income again. Yeah. I'm forever poor. But, you know what? That's not half bad. If only we had some water here. That's ever so slightly out of range. Am I going to want to take this ever? I don't think so. We'll just skip this. So, there we go. Enough of that. So now I could take this earth in order to take a look at this ruin. Also, I mean, if anything, you are perhaps a possible candidate for becoming successful now. I mean, this is still available, right? We might go for the I am next. Allowing you to become successful. And allowing us to make an additional habitat in here. For more culture. Right? Habitats are a source of culture. You shouldn't forget that. Like, I could build one here as well as a source of culture. Right? Like, you could go, I am flexifab, habitats, culture, right? Don't worry about the thing. I mean, I want skill up and stuff as well, but can we afford that? Right? All those things. It's too much to bear for our economy. It's too tiny. There's also no source of... I mean, you already have a water lab, right? There's a source of more stuff to research, so I can put all those humans into labs, right? That we're going to create. There isn't any though, right? There's no water here. Which is a real shame, right? It was an ice ball. Oh, I'd be so happy with an ice ball there. Right, but instead it's a desert, like an ice ball here. Yeah, look at that, right? Connect into everything. And then create more ore, and then create chips, and then put that into there. Done, 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 right? But, I mean, we can make chips the other way, right? We can do it the difficult way. Which is fine as well. Also, you know, that's probably going to make some prosperous stuff at that point. So yeah, that's good. So then, what do we do this year? What's this hive world over here? Oh, we can just get 43. Okay. Well, how much does that cost? I mean, it's the only real way to keep going. So, like that. 35 income. 43. 48. That's better. So what to do with all these humans, though? That's what I said, right? It's a dead planet. There's no way to use the humans really well. So I have to take this if I want it, and I think I do, because this is such a good idea. Yeah, it is. It is a good idea. Also, you know, finally working on that mission. Also, this one, right, could do it too. We'd have it complete. Yeah. Let's take that then. Take the 57. Which will allow me to very slowly crawl my way out. Alright. Establish a lab. Let's do that. And let's also get 2 food producing things successful, I think. Yeah, this one. We'll build the habitats, so that will be doable. And that typically doesn't involve making a huge amount of robots, which is sort of like why I'm trying to avoid this task here. Well, why would I have this habitat connect? Well, I mean, the habitat generates an additional culture, right? Should actually, yeah, the chat's being obscured by another window, which I'm not following it. Well, that's the reason, right? I'm generating 3 culture instead of 2. So yeah, I'll take these 2. I'll have to find a source of ore, but I mean, that's the most common resource in the galaxy. I could do something pretty simple, I suppose, right? I mean, it should be possible, right? That should be doable, at the very least. Are you in range? You are not. Are you in range? You are obstructed. Can you 2 do it? Yes, but hard difficulty. But you could, right? Just the food over here is a bit of an issue. We'll go to 29 planets for doing that. That's okay, but maybe you are the colony and you are water. I wish I could put it in there, right? But and then we have ore here and ore there. Where the food at? Wait, hold on a second. There's a better solution for this, right? If I... maybe not, actually. If I wanted to make food there, I would need robots, and they are nowhere to be found here. So this is nice because it's a simple two-way trade. Then the food could come from that thing. And then, you know, the green stuff could come from there. And you'd be like, oh, well, so many bots needed. Yeah, but there's a forge world. Which could even send 3, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planets we're looking at. That would put us over 32. But it would work, right? It's just maybe we don't want to build all of them immediately. Maybe we want to build just 5 of them, which puts us at 31 for a while. And then, you know, we finish up the lab. Doing this first. Yep, well, there goes everything. I mean, I can remember this. This isn't too difficult, right? So we build all this. Also, nicely, we're not finally not having an irradiated planet actually be irradiated, irradiating our people. You know, not having everything be radioactive. I found a problem with this approach. Do you see it? We are missing a person. Well, we have a tech that can help us. We have a tech that can fix this. Disease eradication, right? Also, no, we don't have anywhere where we're not using it, where we're not supposed to be using it. Okay, good. So, yeah, disease eradication on this wall then found the last human. So, what's the order? And this is the cheapest. Followed by that. And that's a two-way trade, so that would probably be fine. You have a 3 upkeep, but otherwise we don't have the human, so you're next. Okay, we're at 48. This is not good. We're bleeding money, but okay, so you. I mean, I might as well send in some stuff in here to. Let's have a look if I can't. August. I mean, that's too draining, right? I might want to do that next year. I'll only get 5 years out of it, but I think it's too much to get it this year. Instead, we'll just try to send in as many resources as possible. So, I mean, there are quite a few extra things we can do. Now, this is not bad, per se, right? We're using quite a few of these resources. In fact, if I could, I would even do that, right? At this point, we can't, though. And I want to do one more thing. So let's just take this asteroid. Because that puts us in January. Does this help our income in any way? I mean, we have to do this anyway, so I might as well. Is there any tech we might want before January? I mean, if I want self-hosting II, I should take it now. Is it worth taking? So we're paying 24 and we're going to get 6 out of it every year. Well, for the first year, right? And then we're going to have 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25 still. Right? So we're going to get 5 times 6 is 30. We're going to get 34 science out of it. This will pay for itself. As long as I can still afford that, but I think I will be able to. I mean, I'll be too busy building all of this stuff anyway. I mean, maybe not, right? Maybe we want to build the habitats first, in which case I want to take the habitats. I want to make sure that I can have them. We're 1 science short. Are you serious? I mean, if I can just find any forebear ruin anywhere. Nah. I mean, this could be one, right? Should we gamble on that being one? Otherwise, we'd be off by a year. It's such a... I mean, we can use this year to build the lab, I suppose, right? It's not... I'm not completely wasting the year. Well, anyway. Chuck it. Yeah, it's not. It wasn't. Oh well. So, like, there's a bunch of other stuff available though, so there's this and stuff, so it's not completely hopeless. Okay, so that does lock off the thing, but there's another way of doing that. That's fine. Like, lock off this food planet. Or we can make it successful anyway. Done. Oh, we got 8 bonus science. Never mind. We were fine. I wasn't thinking. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a good ore lab here, and now we still get the habitats, which I want to stay at 31. And you know, I could get FlexiFab, but FlexiFab doesn't take time. Habitats do take time. So where I'd want to place them, right? I'd want to make sure that we get some food planets to successful here, which is a mission. And there's one I can make successful immediately, and the other one's going to have to be this. So we're going to have to, I guess we're going to have to, maybe this? It's out of range, right? Like, to make a thing successful, it needs to export 2 food, and it needs to have both its imports. All farms do, basically. You have the ocean farm that wants ore, you have the weird, where is it, the remnant one? We also have one of those somewhere. Somewhere. Here. Which wants the water and the biomatter. And then there's like Earth-like farms, which want... we don't have one of those, but they want biomatter as their second thing. Yeah, they forget all the time. I have integrated manufacturing, and there's also flexible fabrication. So it's kind of complicated here. You can get both robots into goods, or goods into robots. And we can also get the opposite thing, which is for the ore. You can get ore into chips. But integrated manufacturing does not allow you to do ore on chip worlds. Even though it's more expensive to get, I mean, this is a tier higher, so it makes a little bit of sense. This is also interesting. So one thing to take note of is like how much science do we actually still have available, and how can we effectively use it. Like I think like one of the most effective things we can do though is to get this. It's a bit of a shame that, I mean, kind of have to do it in this order. I would like to start getting level 3s that gives you tech discounts. Of course, you need to get the missions that allow you to do level 3s. So this does have an upkeep cost of 3. But, you know, we make the money back. And also, you know, that's a thing. Getting an additional couple points of science, like 4 or 5 points. Okay, so now what? Good question. What do we do now indeed? There is you available. You already have, you're already maxed. The only other things remaining are... yeah. So the thing is, if we go to... here's the income problem again. If we go up another time, then... there's like no... so there's another spare food here I'm noticing, right? Which I think should be another one of these. Now there is an argument to be made for doing this one later and instead doing it here first. This allows cultural exchange to happen here. Which, that's a little helpful at least, right? Now, looking at this, right, because of dissemination later, I want to try to make it so that we can get 2 culture into the same thing, so we can use this dissemination. This one is a very, like a planet that very much wants that, because it can come up there, then down there, then in here, and sort of like a chain reaction of effects. I also get to choose where this human goes. I mean, it only has one target. I don't really know why it made me choose that, but you know, up there you go. And now, like, this is going to get another export and another import. Actually, it's going to be fine. So I guess, is this ever going to get rid of its robot? It's not, right? I mean, I could do that connection as well later, right? To send you a bunch of stuff. I think you are going to be another one that we could chain together. So yeah, go ahead and send it in there. Got to keep the order in mind. Feels like, yes, we have an irradiated sector that, you know, reduces our income. And also, you know, we have kind of a poor empty start here with lots of long slipways. That doesn't help you very much either. And, you know, having 3 races that are basically the worst ones for cash when it comes to missions. Like, there's no worse combination with regards to that. Now, there is something to be said also for trying to do the Dender mission for the 40 extra cash, which might tide us over. Might make it possible to leap over the increase to get to 32. So now we're at 6. We could go to October with this. And then go to next year, giving us the most available time. You know, that would be an option. We still get the full income, by the way, right? We still get, what's it, like 50 something income? 53, right? And then get the maximum amount of time possible to try to fix things. So like that. And, you know, all things considered. Wait. There's something wrong here. Does this not quite work out? It might not quite work out as well as I thought it would. Because, like, sure, you have this connection, right? But you don't have that. Or that still yet. Because you don't have that. There's no bot. So, like, we need a source for. The alternative is to do that, right? But then, yes, about that. Of those 2 alternatives, the best one is this one. We'll have to somehow route this in here later. I don't really see how, though, is the problem. There's also this available. That connection's too long, though. So again, like the mineral seeding, not taking that, right? We have another alternative, which is culture. If this ever upgrades itself, because it receives a culture, which could be from here via dissemination, it will be able to send in here and it will be able to solve that problem. But, you know, we'd be taking the hit for now, which is sort of not the thing you'd want to do in this circumstance. Definitely not in this circumstance. Anyway, so I'll be plonking down a habitat. Now, our slipstream overload is almost making it cost 4, which would have been quite hurtful. Here, yes, and then we get culture here. Also, I should probably wait with that until we take the tasks. I'm not going to colonize new planets of 9 different types. Maybe we can get a remnant to prosperous? That would be the most reasonable of the 3 missions. And making 7 chips is also not something I'm too keen to do. Although something has to be said for the availability of our integrated manufacturing tech that will allow us to make a chip for 30 credits. It's just that we don't really have any credits. So, you know, that mission would be doable if we were swimming in money, right? 1, 2, 3. Well, I already got 2 there. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1 more Forge World, and then that's it, right? Right. Or skill-up facilities, right? 1 here is a 4. And then 1 here, 5, 6, if we get the input as well. So, you know, it's not too difficult. It's just that if we can get a remnant plant that prospers quickly, we can maybe take another mission. A different one that's more feasible. The thing, of course, is how are we going to get a remnant plant that prospers here? Also, I'm going to cut this off, so we're not going to get the 8 science here. Good thing I changed that plan. Also, there's this one available, actually. I should actually do this. It doesn't interfere with any of the missions, right? No. So let's just do this for now first. Right, this will make culture. Not insignificant, right? It's kind of what we want. And I'm not sure how to position this so that we get dissemination working. Like, I think we put 1 in here and then 1 in here. And send out the human. Still got 40, okay. I think we'll take this mission. Okay. Still got 40. 65 science. So what's up next? Like this one, that one, right? That's kind of what you'd want. The order, though, is the thing that we have to worry ourselves most about. Habitats have been nice, though. They've saved us, essentially. Okay, I can do this. Another couple points of culture. So, like, if I mean, that's okay, right? To 70. Doesn't feel quite like the right answer, though. Dissemination. If only I could take a Dender mission to take some plants to Prosperous and then take the dissemination, right? We would be getting a nice tech discount. I don't think that's in the cards, though. I could make another habitat here, make another culture thing here, but right. There's also 1 more culture that can be had like this. So, which could be the second one here. I mean, okay, right? Maybe I should just start the dissemination immediately, because money is the big problem. It won't. The immediate happiness everywhere, but it'll lead to quite a big financial help, which is sort of the thing. Let's just do this so we can get more interconnected. It's a very cheap connection anyway, and it makes you successful as well. I mean, okay, right? Okay, this is working. somehow. Irradiated habitats. You should change yours probably in this direction. Try to utilize skill up. If we can get our hands on it. Of course, we're out of money, but I think we've got it for this year. There's of course a bunch of places that are unhappy with us, which we'll still have to solve. I think it's more important to get the culture going though. So we have some decent amount of money. So now how good is this at this point? Okay, now it's going up significantly, but we're right kind of at the end. We're kind of too late with it. Skill up is 2 science, right? I want 1 of these. Can we get access to 1? Well, yes, we can, but like the planet's in an annoying spot. We can from here. Where's the food at? The chip's here, right? I might just want to take that. It's so expensive too, right? It's 23 for that slipway. 31 for the colony as well. But we would get access to skill up, but again, like I can't use it immediately anyway. Let's just get flexible fabrication this year and we'll get skill up next year. Flexible fabrication is reasonably affordable and allows us to do things like this. Send in goods to various places. Of course, send it to the real colony because that prospers it, right? And go 9 more income. There was another location where we could do something like that. That was definitely the best spot for it though. We can make a bot here. Which I guess could make more goods, but there's no real point to that. Skill up facilities will also allow us to make more habitats in various places. It's also not too bad. Maybe I'll take you now to do this. Ooh, and then we can do something fancy here as well. If I were to take a guess, I would be able to make a habitat here. In fact, I'd be able to make 2 if I wanted. 1 over there, 1 over there, and to connect a habitat to another habitat. If I do this and that, right? Like a habitat connected to another habitat still, I believe, still pops the cultural exchange. So yeah, that's a thing. If I wanted to do that, I could make a good here as well. The thing though is if I did that, I would be precluding this connection. But I could do it from here instead. Like the chip for making this successful. All the things. Also, yeah, this is the same problem, right? If I wanted to send the bot in here, but I mean, you were never going to get past successful anyway, because where you're going to get the biomatter from? Like, not from there. We are never going to be able to get infraways, which is just way too much science off. We have some other things instead, though, this run, so it's not all bad. Yeah. We're out of cash all the time. But good science. I mean, previously I had a run with loads of money but no science, so this is kind of a complete opposite. We'll be able to do this quest fairly soon, as long as we get the skill up facilities, it'll be fine. I think that's the next thing, the next best thing in the world, skill up facilities. Yes, there's spiritual growth available, but it's just like for the one last year. We do get 40 money, but we have to wait another year on the quest, and I'm like, nah, let's not do that. Let's get our skill down on. It's also, you know, matter transposition, but we are just not able to get our missions done quickly enough to do these things. We kind of did not get very good missions. Okay, so skill down on, what it allows you to do is double up on these things. So who is already sending what where? Aren't you the one that's supposed to go? Yeah, you can go here. Which is the point. Then you can go here. And then you can connect to the remnant. Mission complete. Invent 3 new technologies. I think we can invent 1. However, getting plants to prosper is actually reasonably possible with this culture strategy. In fact, it's pretty much what it's designed to do. So can we get a forage world or food producing planet that prospers now first? The answer to that is probably very likely, actually. If I upgrade you in some way... I mean, this one can't because it's stuck with only 2 neighbors. And this one cannot get its good, which is sort of the problem it has. What other food producing plants do we have that could potentially hit prosperous? Well, this one right here, right? It has 2 successful neighbors. Everything here needs goods, but we still have a flexible fabrication we could make here. That would mean not getting access to skiller facilities here. I think that's fine. I don't think that's a huge deal. I could throw in FlexiFab into here, which would make this successful, which would pop this into prosperous, right? Yeah. No, it wants to biomatter. Yeah. I knew I forgot something. It has everything else it needs but the biomatter. So this one can't. That one can't. That one kind of can't, again because of biomatter. And none of our food producing plants can actually become. Good thing that I kind of checked, because I thought that was doable, but it's not. Can we actually get some tech discounts so we can actually afford to research anything useful next year? There isn't any. There's swap for 29, which would be 2 off. I mean, I could take this again, right, for the 2 science. That would mean we can research swap next year. I don't know what I'd swap, but you know, it's a thing that's available. I don't know how good that is. If I can swap anything useful, then I should maybe do it. Like, can I, for example, swap in biomatter? I think the answer is yes, right? If I swap you in closer, we would get the biomatter here. So it is possible to do this mission. Next up is the Forge World mission. Can we do that as well? What about this one? I mean, yeah, this one does it almost instantly, so we should take that mission. In fact, I'm wondering if I should just take this mission and maybe you will get something easier, like get 3 plants to prosperous, which if it's anywhere, then we'll probably be able to do it anyway. I think that's the better strategy, to be honest. Right. We can just instantly do this mission. All we have to do is repurpose and complete, right? Increase population by 10. Womp womp. That was not the mission I was looking for. I mean, yes, I could make more culture, but you're already all having 3. So there's also this, which, you know, this is just something fun to show, but like, look at the amount of resources being made, right? It's kind of neat. Of course, like, we would have to, I mean, it's possible to do this, right? It's quite expensive, but it's possible. Remnants and Forge Worlds. Yeah, so about those. Are we capable of making more successful / prosperous remnants and Forge Worlds? Do we have enough? There's this one, right, that I was thinking about. That's a remnant to prosperous. Yeah, I would imagine, right? Where's the second one? out of range. I mean, we knew that already, right? That would be prosperous, by the way. Just saying. Would it? No, this one doesn't have a bot input, a secondary, that is. I mean, it could with culture. Like this could get a culture and then get successful and then send the thing down there. It's just that it can't, because we cannot intersect. So we do not have any infraways or relays or advanced stuff like that. We do not have any of those shenanigans available. We do have quite a bit of culture. So we can't really send it to various places. Did I do this correctly, actually? I did not. So we cannot really get more from here. At least not easily. I mean, I could... It's like where's the second remnant? We have one here. And do we see any others? There's one here. I mean, it wants a water. Then it wants to output its ship somewhere. Like up here. There's so much to do still, right? And so little money. If I take those missions, I'll be abandoning these like plants I still have to fix here is the thing. Like this 8%. I mean, this can't be fixed, so we don't have to bother with it at all, actually. This can be fixed with the habitat, but I don't know if it's too expensive to... We only get this money, right? After this money's gone, that's it, right? We're not really limited by time. We're limited by the fact that we only have 155 cash, right? So we'd have to count our, basically count our pennies, basically. 25, 33. And then, you know, we need a bunch of other stuff, right? If I could just play this out and see, you know, how far we get, but I would imagine that it's not very far. We should need to do this and that, right? Then you need to skip, and then you need to do that. Then you're only at successful yet, right? So you're not even there yet. I can't do this because I would, you know, force that, so I can't check if there's anything for this. But like, this needs another partner and things to be successful. So you would need some food, right? I mean, I could just throw that in, right? I mean, you would do something like that, and then we'd be out of time, right? There's just too many things that need to be connected here for that to work. Not really an easy way of doing this, like with culture, for example, because we don't have any more available easily in this area. I mean, I don't have the food to build the habitat to get the two-way trade, the cultural exchange up to get the second culture in here, in order to get it to send out a culture to send one here, in order to get this one to do the same thing, so that it can finally, right? That would be the idea, but there's no food available here to do that. I mean, I could also create the food here to do that, right? But that would be kind of the same issue that we had before, where you would just be building too many things, and or it'd be too expensive in total. So this one is prosperous, but then the second one is like, beware. So that's also not possible. Do we get 10 more population in the last year? That would also be something you'd have to want to count. We'll get 1 or 2 from the habitats there. That's about it, really. So no. I think we decline the remaining missions. And just try to end it successfully. So the question is, what's the most hurtful to your score? And that's happiness. So the thing that's probably hurting the most that we can fix is this thing here. It has a lot of people available, and it can't send them anywhere. But here, that will take off a lot of happiness if I do it. So that's an option. There's also this thing that we can fix. It has resource shortages and all that. And you know, cultural exchange can help here with like, various bits and pieces and bobs. Alright, we can do some shenanigan here. Now this one's already doing it, so we cannot do that connection. Did that actually help? Okay, I wish I had another... there's something to be said for that, actually. This. I should have maybe taken the mission, to be honest, but I think I'll take this anyway. Or maybe here. Is there food here? I mean, even if there isn't, right? Maybe I should just take it and take the two-way trade. I mean, in that case, I should just take this one, because it's always a two-way trade. And it might kind of sort of have food for it. I'll take this struggling planet, as crazy as it sounds, because these are often money. And it's not money. Well... Universal Harmony would be nice, but we don't have another year to do that. Guess we'll study them. We got 8 science for it. Not really the thing I wanted. I already have enough science. So now we get like 35 science in the last year. I mean, yay. Yeah, you can't undo those. Like, you get money from them so often. It's like, there's money in here, right? Nope. Desperate for money. Agreed. Agreed. 29. Yeah. Mind control, right? 1 science off, right? Got 1 more science for me. I mean, if I could build it, I could get one. But I can't. I'll just see what's here then. We didn't get another one. Okay, well, there are no more forebear ruins available anywhere. Like, those are often like 150 money, so I guess that's more an Ephorian thing, right? So having the races do one specific thing is sort of the thing that... Well, okay. Next year, I suppose, then. So we try to fix things as good as we can, basically. And like, one of the things we can do is this. That's a decent fix. Quite a bit. And then another one we can do is this. Just another %. And like, this is worth a lot as well. I would imagine, yeah. This is not so much. If I take a skill up facility here, you already have a thing though, and you are already sending it there, so we cannot actually do this stuff that I wanted to do here. It's all without an additional like bunch of things, like a skill up facility here, a thing here, a connection there, send it back, send it back. Sort of idea, right? That would be the thing I'd want, but unfortunately I built this here. I would have been able to maybe afford that. And then I'd be able to do the culture. Ah, man. Feels bad. Yeah, so we just try to kind of scan for something or what have you? Because we don't have any more money to do what I want to do. Like, I could do a bunch of things here, right? That's the thing. Like, there's this available to me. There's these over here, right, which would be amazing because I would be able to get mucho culture, right? Send it all back, make a skill up, send 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 2 in here, then back. Makes a bunch of happiness in any case, right? Sort of like bounces it around. You just don't have the time for it though. It's out of money. There is no money. Why is this galaxy so devoid of money? Yeah, still no money. We don't really have anything available that I can really do with 38 money is the thing. There's too little to really do much with. And I guess this, right? Solve some unemployment. Well, we can do that for 29, so I might as well just roll down to 29 and see if we can't. And the thing is, though, if I do get it, then it might be too late already. It's like I might not be able to found a colony and do a thing. Right? It's like I'm already in August. Building this stuff takes 1 to 3 months. Right? So it's basically impossible at this point for us to do so, because I cannot. I mean, I could if I could connect it via a habitat, right? So if I find it here, perhaps we could do it. Well, I don't, right? I want another one of these ruins, but if there's one there that's available, perhaps still. Is that the only location? That one would be too expensive. If it existed. Same here. This one's probably 30, so it's probably too expensive. This one's 23 though, so hope. Nope. I guess then the final months are just build the breeding program and take the 21. Alright. It's a bit unfortunate at the end, right? We still got 40,1285 for the cash poor run.